All right, good morning, everyone. This is the Monday morning weekly briefing for the upcoming week, for this week, June 6th through the 12th. Before we get into the forecast, we'll take a brief look back at what occurred yesterday across central North Carolina. We had quite a few severe thunderstorms. What we're looking at here is a map of rotation that was detected by surrounding radars. This is a new product, and it shows low-level rotation, and you can see multiple swaths of rotation. We were dealing with supercell thunderstorms, which are, out of all the different thunderstorm types, the most prolific at producing severe weather. And the most notable ones yesterday, there was one that developed around Laurinburg and then moved over toward Hope Mills and produced up to golf ball-sized hail. And you can see that those hail reports as the green marks there down near Cumberland County, just to the south of Fayetteville. So that was one of the bigger storms of the day. And then there were a couple of other big supercells that developed up across the northern Piedmont tract just north of Roxborough and then up along the Virginia border and produced periodic wind damage along that track. And that cell continued to track up toward Wakefield, Virginia. And there was another supercell that had developed just to the east of there and affected Franklin County. So most of the reports yesterday were from damaging wind. And there were a couple of cells that actually developed and moved through western Wake County and produced a 51-knot wind gust out at RDU, and it produced some damage there, knocked some trees down, and apparently affected the computers at Terminal 1. And that area of strong wind then moved up toward Lewisburg and Warrenton in central North Carolina before moving into southern Virginia. So that's a brief look back at yesterday at what happened. Perhaps not quite as bad as it could have been, but we did have some severe weather on Sunday nonetheless. Now looking ahead, we've got a tropical system. You might have heard Tropical Storm Colin down in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and this is an image of water vapor imagery, radar overlaid, and surface dew points. And note that the dew points are very high in the 70s over most of the southeastern United States, so very, very humid, extending all the way into central North Carolina. And the water vapor imagery is interesting here. You can see an upper level trough with this curl here over the eastern United States, and that's what we call a positively tilted upper trough, and that's going to largely protect North Carolina from the impacts or any significant impacts from this tropical system. And that positive tilt nature of the trough is going to steer that tropical system along the coast as opposed to allowing it to move inland and come up into the Carolinas and produce all sorts of concerns with severe weather, for example, and flooding rain. It just doesn't look like that's going to be the case because the upper level steering pattern should protect most of central North Carolina from the impacts from Colin. This is the latest 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern advisory for Tropical Storm Colin. And it's got landfall, the latest track, somewhere around the Big Bend of Florida this evening around sunset, and then a 7 a.m. position very near Charleston, South Carolina, before rapidly accelerating out to sea through the middle of the week. So just a glancing blow for the extreme coastal areas of the Carolinas from Colin. This is a weather depiction, basically weather maps for throughout the week, and Colin is forecast again to make landfall in Florida later this evening. And there's a front basically separating the very juicy, the high dew point air in the 70s, the tropical air mass over the southeastern United States. That's lying somewhere in the vicinity of the western North Carolina Piedmont today, and that will likely serve as a focus for some scattered afternoon showers and storms. And then we've got a more appreciable air mass change with an approaching cold front now settling down across the upper Midwest and Plains states, and that's going to come through as we get into tomorrow night. So that will tend to dry things out for us for the middle of the week. And if you look at the midweek map here, cool high pressure builds over most of the eastern United States. So Wednesday and Thursday both look like unseasonably cool, dry, excellent days. And then we start to warm things back up by the latter part of the week, and as we get into the weekend, as a warm front moves across the Ohio Valley into the central Appalachians. and that could set us up for some mainly afternoon showers and storms as we get into particularly Friday afternoon, and then again Saturday and perhaps Sunday as well. And we'll take a little bit closer look at that in just a couple minutes. Regarding severe thunderstorm potential, there's really not a whole lot as far as severe thunderstorms are concerned threat-wise. Any threat for severe weather should be down along coastal Georgia and coastal South Carolina, perhaps extending up toward Wilmington, which is basically in the vicinity of the track of Tropical Storm Colin. But most of the stronger winds and the more favorable environment with respect to wind shear that thunderstorms need should largely stay offshore based on the track of Colin. So again, fairly low-end threat for any severe weather. And then as we go through the middle of the week, certainly no severe weather potential because we don't even have any chance of rain in the forecast once we start to get into the latter part of Tuesday and then right on through Thursday. So again, it looks like an excellent middle of the week forecast. Rainfall amounts, as you might expect, are going to be highest basically from Florida up through the coastal southeastern states, with some of the heavier rain perhaps extending up into the very far southern portions of the Raleigh forecast areas, especially just to the south and east of Fayetteville over toward Clinton. Looks like Sampson County, especially the southern part, would be in the favored area to perhaps pick up a couple of inches of rain during the next 24 hours from the rain out ahead of the tropical system. But otherwise, it looks like just scattered showers and storms for the most part, with lesser amounts of rain across the remainder of central North Carolina. We will have a little bit of lingering rain early in the day on Tuesday, mainly east of I-95, and then especially over toward coastal areas. And you can see that here in the graphic for Tuesday. But then otherwise, humidity levels will be dropping Tuesday, although the cold front doesn't come through until Tuesday night. The humidity should really start to drop as we get a little westerly downslope flow. So we'll be warm on Tuesday, well up into the 80s, but noticeably drier relative to the humidity that we've experienced, for the last several days now. We've been pretty much sitting in the lower 70s dew points for days and days now. So tomorrow's humidity levels will be a welcome relief. And then as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, not only will the humidity be lower, but the temperatures will be lower as well. More like lower 80s as opposed to upper 80s. And overnight lows down into the 50s and perhaps even some upper 40s over Piedmont locations by Thursday morning. So areas over toward Lexington, Roxborough, Siler City, those areas in the typically cooler spots could see some upper 40s on Thursday morning. Looking ahead a little bit longer term as we go through the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a big area of above normal temperatures over the central part of the country beneath a large ridge of high pressure that most of the weather models are showing over the central states, and then below normal temperatures over the northeast as we maintain a little bit of a trough over the northeast, and that sets central North Carolina up for northwesterly flow. And typically that is a relatively dry flow, although this time of year it can provide a corridor for clusters of showers and thunderstorms in that northwesterly flow. And again, we will be in that corridor and more favorable chance of some afternoon and evening showers and storms by the time we get into Friday and then Saturday and Sunday. And with respect to the precipitation, not really a clear signal over central North Carolina, although maybe a little bit above average chances of drier than normal as a result of that dry northwest flow, but certainly a thunderstorm cluster or two could ruin that forecast. In summary, we've got the forecast for the next several days here for the Raleigh area along the bottom, and you'll note some of these low temperatures as we get into really Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night could be a little on the high side. So if you use the point-and-click forecast later this afternoon, you might see a little bit cooler temperatures on the order of about 5 degrees for overnight lows, because again, it does look like a fairly cool air mass moves overhead for the middle of the week. But in summary, through tonight, it will be continued humid as we maintain those lower 70s dew points over most of the area, with an area of showers and storms likely spreading north across much of central North Carolina later this afternoon, and then continuing overnight before moving east and offshore during the day tomorrow. And once those early day showers and storms do move east of the area tomorrow, it will again be warm but less humid for the remainder of the day. And then again, cooling and dry for the middle of the week with low humidity. So really Wednesday and Thursday look like excellent days if you want to get outside or perhaps play hooky from school or work. But those would be the excellent days to enjoy the outdoors this week. And then it will warm up again Friday as that warm front moves across the Ohio Valley and Central Appalachians, and potentially turning hot for this weekend, as some of the guidance indicates we could be well into the 90s for Saturday and Sunday, with Sunday most likely to be the hottest day of that stretch. And again, a small chance of showers and storms during that period late week through the weekend in the northwesterly flow, with perhaps a couple of thunderstorm clusters. And then it looks like a potential backdoor cold front moves through Sunday night. So after the very hot day on Sunday, some relief is on the horizon as a backdoor front settles through the middle Atlantic Sunday night, which would theoretically, if that forecast were to verify, yield cooler temperatures for Monday. But we're starting to talk 7 days out, and forecast confidence is obviously a little lower as you get out in the forecast period. But at this time, it looks like the potential to be cooler with a little reprieve from the weekend heat will be there for Monday, with any associated shower and thunderstorm chances most likely out toward the Yadkin River over the western Piedmont, and particularly even west of there down toward Charlotte and Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina. So Monday at this point looks like perhaps cooler and less in the way of chances for showers and storms relative to the weekend. And that's it as far as the briefing goes for today and for the week. If anyone has any questions, please type those into the question box and we'll address those. Thank you for the comment there, letting us know that you could hear me okay. There's another comment. This is actually Mike, not Brandon. All right, well, I don't see any additional questions. Thank you guys for the comments. Very much appreciated. Sometimes we wonder if the microphone's actually turned on and people can hear us. But thank you guys so much. Hope you have a good week, and come back again next week at this time.